I'm going to give you an updated 7 tips to stop getting scammed by bad Spotify playlists. If you're not subscribed already, click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you get important updates on videos like this one. All right, so I'm going right into it. These 7 tips are not just made, randomly, not just a random YouTuber that thought of this. We have done thousands of different playlist promotions, tens of thousands at this point across all different genres. We know how to research this stuff. In fact, we're the ones who came up with the playbook on this. So we're giving you these updated tips because we still see artists falling into the trap of signing up for these bad services that give you bad lists. A lot of them may not even be trying to give you bad streams, but at the end of the day, if they give you bad streams, they're going to be bad, even if you think they're good. So tip number 1, the channel has no followers, but the playlists all have like 50,000 followers. Things don't occur like that. The ratio is not going to be that far off. Like if a channel, we're just researching an artist here, won't name names, but the channel it was like 3 playlists with over 45,000 followers. They always have like similar amount of followers, but the channel itself had 0 followers. So not to say that the channel is going to have as many followers as the playlist do, because that never happens, but it's not going to be 0 if all the playlists have like 50,000 organic followers. So that is tip number 1. And the best place to research this is going to be on the Spotify desktop app versus anywhere else. Tip number 2, all playlists have suspiciously high followers. So if it was like every one of those playlists had like 3 followers or something, then that wouldn't be that big of a deal. Or even like 10 or maybe getting up to like 50-ish. Well, we still see if your playlists have like 200 followers, and you're running ads on them on Facebook, Instagram, and elsewhere, you'll still see like 7 channel followers. But if all your playlists have like exactly the same amount, like 47,000 followers, and all of them have like 10,000 followers, ads don't work that way. And again, we've run hundreds, if not thousands, of just playlist ads directly. Not even talking about the artists we promote. Playlist ads, helping playlisters. Companies grow their playlists. Not every ad is going to perform the same way. You're going to have some ads that really hit, and you're going to spend more on some of those ads if you're doing playlisting for artists. And then some ads aren't going to perform as well, so the followers on the list are going to fluctuate largely. Like one list might have like 14,000 followers, and then one might have like 400. That's how widely ads fluctuate, and you have to go in and reiterate the ads and try to get them to work because you're dealing with real people. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is the ad has a keyword that does not have high SEO, but the list is large. So if you have like a list that has hip hop music or something like that, and it has a lot of followers, some artists might be fooled because they might think, well, this is a keyword that does get a lot of traffic, so it should have a lot of followers for like hip hop music, country music, jazz, whatever. But if you find one that has a keyword, even if it's called like vibes or something, and you go type that into Spotify and look at the traffic of all the other lists, if it looks suspiciously high for that one list, partnered with a lot of the other tips we're going to give you, it's probably a bad list. If it's just the only exception to that might be if they are running ads on it. But some of these other tips, this next tip will help you decide if they're running ads and that's why that list is growing versus it's just a bad list. So next one, tip number 4, followers fluctuate quickly. You have to use a tool for this one. So you can go to sites like Spot on Track. They have a 14-day free trial for you to do some of this research. And it might just be a good idea to get a yearly subscription. We're not affiliated with them. We do use their service, but we're not affiliated with them. We don't get any money for telling you that. It's probably a good idea to have a research tool to make sure you're getting on good playlists so your songs aren't at risk of getting on any bad playlists and getting any takedowns. If you see like one day it has 10,000 less followers, and the next day, and like keeps going up and down, and you don't see a graph that's looking gradual. Like you still can find playlists that have really strong growth, but it's not going to be like a sharp drop in followers the next day and like keep going up and down and up and down. That's not natural human behavior. So you will see some spikes up, but it'll be like just continues to go up and then tapers off, and then it might go down a little bit. Or the best graphs are going to be up and to the right, but it'll be over time that they're up and to the right, not like one day they just jumped up 10,000 followers and then that stopped. So watch for those graphs when you're looking at tools like Spot on Track or any other tracking tool to track playlist followers. Tip number 5, random locations will have the most listeners on these playlists. So before, it used to be that if you got on a bad playlist, they would always have like Buffalo or some like random location in New Jersey, like Piscataway, New Jersey, as their top listeners. And it would be like 1,000 listeners in Buffalo, New York. And they'd throw in like LA and Atlanta, Chicago as some of the top locations. And it would be all of the streams on the playlist. So if you got 2,500 streams, it was coming from like 5 locations. Whereas real human listeners, you'll get locations everywhere because everybody is going to be searching keywords or getting served ads. There's not really going to be a playlist that's only serving ads to certain cities. You may get certain countries that you're trying to target with the ad because that makes sense, especially if it's in like a different language. But for certain cities, it's typically not going to happen. So if your cities are suspiciously high versus some of the countries, you may get country specific. Like if you have a bunch of plays from Brazil, sure, but it'll be like a lot of different cities in Brazil that are getting played on that playlist. So a random location will have most of the listeners. A lot of them probably started to switch it up because we came out with other videos about, hey, they're all targeting Buffalo, New York, and that's their telltale sign. But now it'll just be like a random location. So check to make sure the flow of the cities that you're getting listens from is more natural. Tip number 6, the save ratio does not look organic. So some of the more clever, this is a more clever one. If you get a clever playlister body stuff, they might look at this video and they'll start to spread out their cities. And this one's a tough one to tell. So have a good relationship with your promotion marketing agency. Whether that be us, you guys are going through us, or anybody else, ask good questions to them. But the save ratio does not look organic. Typically, we're going to see anywhere from like 2% to 10% save ratio, and that's save per listener, not save per stream. So 2 to 10% of the listeners will save your song. So if you're at like the 10% range or above, that means that's a lot of people saving your song. But we see anywhere within that range. Now, if it's like 50% of the people are saving your song, I'm going to go out on a limb and say your song is not that good. Even if you have a really good song, it's typically not going to hit like 50% of people saving it. If it's below the 2%, it could mean that your music needs improvement. But it also might mean that they're just throwing fake streams on here, and you need to look into some of those other tips. It's usually not going to be like one of these tips in isolation. It'll be a few combined together that will tell you if a list is bad and a company is bad. But that is one sign. Again, that one's a little more nuanced. But the last one we have here, tip number 7. So a company will sell you a set number of streams in every genre. Regardless of the genre, they'll say, I will get you 10,000 streams. I'll get you 50,000 exactly, versus giving you a range of streams that you can expect to get. And one thing, because we started to offer people packages where we're estimating the amount of streams you can get. It'll be a big range because that's what we see naturally. But all we're saying is that we'll keep working until it hits this play range. Whereas some companies will say, I will get you this exact number of streams. And honestly, they'll happen far too quickly. So a lot of times we get customer feedback that says, hey, I didn't hit my stream number this first go around. That is actually pretty natural. So we have improvements in our system to where we are, getting more access to inside stats. We'll invite people, hey, can we see your stats inside Spotify for Artists, so we can just keep track of which lists are good in the network, which lists are bad, which lists are falling off. And we'll be able to guarantee more that you'll hit your stream range on the first time, but there's never going to be 100% guarantee that you will get this stream range in like 2 days, 2 weeks, whatever, because that's just not how promotion happens. So again, that was a little bit more nuanced, the last two, but those are the updated 7 tips to spot bad playlist companies and to find legit Spotify playlist promotion. So if this video was helpful, the last one was really helpful for people, do me a favor, not only hit the like button, but subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and share this with a friend. Share this with another musician. Just because you see somebody's streams blowing up doesn't mean they're not on bad lists. So we try to, obviously we can't tell artists where to buy promotion, as we're not your record label, we're not your manager. But these are our tips, guys, for avoiding bad lists. So share this with a musician so that their music doesn't get taken down, so on and so forth. So if this was helpful, help us out with that, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.